questions or comments from council?
Mr. President, if I may,
Yes.
if there are no other questions from council. Mike, thank you very much for taking the time and, lengthening our meeting another 45 minutes so we could listen to all of the information that you've given us tonight. And Councilman Monday, I want to address the issue that you said, we're tired of the studies. And I will say that perseverance here is really the key for us, because in the 1960s we had the option to try and fix this, and we didn't do it. So now is our time. It's our time to persevere and make it through this process so that our children don't have nightmares about floodwaters rising whenever it rains, so that our community can continue to be economically viable, so that we can continue to support the fourth largest company in the state of Ohio on our main street, so that we can continue to support the small businesses and the restaurants that invest countless amounts of money in our community. We don't want to see another 2007 roll around. And in order for us to try and keep that from happening again, we have to stay strong. And we have to stay united as a community. Because all of us benefit when we end up solving this issue. And I have faith that at the end of the day, that the Corps will come through with a solid plan that has the highest cost-benefit ratio, and that all of our efforts and all of the investment that we've put forth locally will be worth it in the end.
Tell that to the people out here who are going to be a victim of the induced flooding. And get
To be quite honest, Councilman Monday, I understand what they're saying, and I understand their concerns. And if I had a chance to do it over again, if I was the Corps, but I'm not, I would have done a much better job in preparing that response for those individuals. I feel confident that they're not going to induce flooding to a point where it's going to be detrimental to those neighborhoods. I'm confident with that, because we've talked to Mike, we've talked to Steve Wilson. We're talking minimal, and to be quite honest, maybe some more details should have been worked out before we started talking about this option. Because if there was more information available, then we wouldn't have the concerns that we have today. We know that overall, this solution needs to be comprehensive and be beneficial for the entire community. And so it's not about us versus them, or they versus them, or for another neighborhood. It's about what's beneficial for our entire community so that we can move forward. Because I'm tired of having to answer the question. We need to do something about it. And in order for us to do something about it as a community, we have to persevere and continue to move forward. These guys, I know it seems like it's taken a long time, but we are one of 4 communities in the United States under this pilot program. We're pushing. Congress is listening. I'm sorry about sequestration. I have no control over that. But I know that they understand what we're doing, and it's incumbent upon us as leaders in our community to support this process and come up with a solution. Because if we don't, we're going to be that 1960s community. And we're not going to be the same Findlay and Hancock County that we are now. It's just not going to happen. So you have to stay the course. Stay the course, persevere. We'll come up with a solution and a plan that's beneficial to all. But until we know all those answers, we can't point fingers about those who are going to be induced or those who are not going to be induced. We don't have that information yet. So it's tough to get excited about those options. Stay the course. We've invested the money, we've invested the time, we're further ahead now than we've ever been. But steering away now is detrimental. What do you do when a company like Marathon decides that they don't want to be here, they want to be any place else in the world besides Findlay, Ohio? We're crippled. We're crippled. And that's because we've had a lack of leadership, because we didn't want to persevere and we didn't want to follow through. There are families in this community that we owe it to. We need to continue to move forward. It's going to take time. We just need to have patience. And I know that's tough, but we have to do it. We have to do it for your grandchildren and for their children, so that you can say at the end of the day that you did everything that you could as a councilman of Findlay City Council to make sure that we're a better community than what we are today. It's tough. But these are the decisions that we have to make and the path that we have to follow moving forward. I get it. It's frustration. It is. But it's the only option that we have. To do nothing is irresponsible. And all we're doing is waiting for the next significant rainfall. Stay the course. Persevere.
for your your very kind invitation, and I'm at your service. So.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank